Right guys, welcome down to the beautiful Grand Golf Club here in California, and I'm joined, first of all, by a very special guest. This is Chris Trott, Mr. Tour Fitter to the Stars.
How's it going? How's it going?
Actually, Chris, you want to introduce yourself? Because I don't think you've actually been on the channel yet. I've known you for a while now, but...
Yeah, no, I haven't been on the channel. I work for TaylorMade, out on the global tours, servicing the game's greatest players. And today I am joined by Mr. Finch, so very much looking forward to that opportunity. Obviously, the great thing about golf and golf equipment and people in my role at these companies, yes, I do it for tour players, and yes, that's brilliant, but obviously to try and get the information back through to all the golfers and test out these products and get them dialed in for what's right for your game, it's important, it's critical.
Good man. And to get this tour fitting done and to actually experiment with a club, we've got Rory's driver. So Rory, pound for pound, would you say out of the guys on tour, best driver?
Pound for pound, without doubt, is the best driver, I'd say, in the world.
In the world?
Yeah. DJ very close as well, but pound for pound, Rory.
It's got to be Rory. And this is his big stick. So this has been built exactly to his specifications. So chat through these specs for us, Trott, as well. I don't want to get anything wrong here.
No, I mean, it's a Tensei white, which is extremely strong in the tip. The Tensei shaft has reduced ovaling. It's a very good marketing word that they've used over the last year and a half, but on the downswing, the shaft doesn't oval, so it doesn't change shape. Very low torque. Rory plays the M5 with the weights at the back, as you can see. That helps him with launch and with spin, and he does have it set slightly for the draw, so we all know his ball flight. He loves to hit that draw. He's actually gained strokes gained with driving this year, and he actually picked up a little bit more spin through tweaking and touching up the different weights and the head and the way to do it. He did use the Tensei orange. Tensei have 3 different colors, and Mitsubishi golf shafts have 3 different colors in this. They do a white, they do a blue, and they do an orange. And I do believe they have a red, which is a bit softer. So going back to our early point, for the higher handicappers, this is a beast of a golf shaft. So it's going to be very interesting to see the results. But they do make a more friendly user version. I'm interested to see what you do with this, because there's not a lot of loft on it, as you'd expect for someone like Rory. With this one in particular, there is not a lot of loft when you look at it, because Rory is very shallow and he does have fantastic delivery numbers, which means the key that you would see would be smash factor. If ever you see that thing pop up on the TrackMan, which is the device we're going to measure on, and it looks at how efficient the club is, he is super efficient. But what we need, if you recreate your tee shot on the first at Wentworth, then this is no problem. That's what we need. That's what we're looking for. So let's see what you got. I'm up for it.
So first thing we're going to do is get some data with my current driver. So I'm currently using the M6. Get the numbers on that, and then switch over to Rory's driver for getting it out on the course as well, seeing what it performs like in a real life situation. Right, let's get loosened up. I'm going to have to be swinging hard to get the most out of his driver.
Good.
That's my normal.
That's the shape.
So try, talk us through what was going on there, mate. What have you seen numbers wise?
So we had some conversations before, and this is what I do with players all the time, to talk about what your preferences are, what your miss is. It's very obvious to you. Down on it 7-8 degrees, sorry, left on it 7-8 degrees, which is fine because that's the shape you want to hit, but it means that you're limited as to what launch you can have, and you have a driver that will spin. I think we averaged on 11 shots at 2.8.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, if that was a tour player, that's the first place I would attack with you, and I'd be like, hey, you've got to reduce the spin. I wouldn't necessarily look at the path, and I wouldn't look at the launch, because you're going to launch it a bit lower. Your average launch angle was 13.4. You had a couple that came really high out of the blade. That means you lose a bit of energy. But these things are all okay, because having built a picture of you as a player, you like to hit down the left side and cut it. So obviously I'm asking questions about where your miss is, and these are numbers I would expect to see. The interesting thing when you get the Rory driver, Rory doesn't hit that way. He doesn't have the same. It's going to be interesting because they're polar opposites.
Yeah,
his
100%.
path is very neutral and his attack angle is positive. You ended up with a -0.3 attack angle, which is credit to your golfing ability, to be fair, because anyone who's usually that far left would also be down on it, which is your attack angle into the ball, a lot more than you were. You hear that?
Yeah, yeah.
Love that. 117 club speed, 171.9 ball speed,
Oh, good.
317 total. You're going to need everything.
I'll try and deliver this a bit more Rory.
Okay, so nice and shallow for you, that's a tough move, but shallow and up. .315 that last shot.
315.
Very good. You've done it justice.
So chat through some of the difference on the kind of numbers between the two drivers there. So I obviously started to switch up the swing a little bit to try and optimise. But
you did. And I think that with me trying to G you and energise you on, I'll take a little bit of credit for that.
100%, yeah. I'd give you 22%.
You got a 176 ball speed out of the Rory ones. Now, is that, again, you mentioned Tiger's irons, that you've tested them earlier. Is it the inspiration that knowing that, you're holding a club, and you know, the first hit, you can tell the sound is pure. It's got that tour truck sound to it. The spin rate started to jump a little all over the place, but all in all, there were 300 revs less than your gamer. And again, I think that's down to the fact that you're using a driver that you're making work. Your driver's a bit spinny, that you'd be a great customer for us on the tour, because we could find something in there without having to manipulate too much.
Yeah.
Looking at, again, we call it normalized figures, but your total with the Rory one was 310. Oh, your average. Your total with your gamer was 293. So you've picked up significant yardage.
Yeah.
I think my only worry would be there were a couple of shots in there that were mapping wise all over the face, and you could tell you were on your absolute limit to get the most out of it.
Well, you know, I reckon I had a couple % more. I don't want to hit over the range. There's people up there trying. I don't want to cause any damage.
You're an easy one for us now. You just turn up and say, hey, I need Rory's driver, and we'll dial you in.
There you go. So I had a good test out of those drives, and what I'm going to do is head out onto the course and just have a longest drive comp. So playing the front 9, I think there's 7 holes where I'm going to be hitting driver, and then a couple of par 3s. Should I hit a driver off those as well? Maybe I'll hit a driver off those as well, and see which one comes out on top. I'm going to be playing my driver as my normal shot, so trying to hit a little fade to a straight shot, and Rory's driver that high bombing draw to see which one comes out on top. And then also just get into a little bit more about being fit for a driver, and actually just picking up a driver and trying to fit it to your swing, and why that's probably not the best idea. But if my Tiger iron video is anything to go by, then yeah, probably just picking up some random clubs that might actually work. Perfect now. There we go. Tighter. So this goes to the heart of what we were talking about, me and Chris, about swinging your swing and then trying to adapt your swing around the golf club. So I am not very good at hitting a high draw shot. It's just not my swing. So for me to go into Rory's driver trying to hit a Rory swing, I'm having snap hooks, big blocks, I'm having everything that you don't generally want to be seeing within a driver swing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch it around. I'm going to try and use my swing now with Rory's driver and see what happens there. But at the moment, my driver is kicking Rory driver's arse. It's just the driver that's on the other end of the driver which is kind of kicking his own arse. Oh, I had a big sandwich for lunch. I'm struggling. I think today goes to the heart of actually what custom fitting is and what does it mean for you guys, because custom fitting for me basically means taking your swing as it currently is to the fitter and then tuning the club or the driver, the putter, whatever it may be, around that swing. But I think sometimes people go to get a custom fit and actually say, well, what I want is a good driver, I like the look of, I like the sound of, and then I'm going to build my swing around that club, and that is just the wrong way to go. Now, I think the quality of the custom fit makes a huge difference here as well, because there's been a lot of times where I've seen custom fitting going on where basically the fitters have tried to give advice to the amateur about fixing their swing mid-fitting, and you know, in my opinion, that defeats the purpose of it. But get down into those comments and let us know what your experience of fittings have actually been, positive and negative. It's just starting to get a magic hour on the course now as well. Another beautiful evening here, California, man. This is the place to be. So I think this is one of the key points. If you're thinking of getting a driver, great, amazing. Everyone loves shiny things. There's so many good ones out there. But what I would say is, if you're thinking about getting a good driver and then changing your swing, just reverse that in your mind. Get your swing changes in, even if they take months. You're going to be better off bedding those in, then getting fit for the driver around the new swing, rather than just getting a stock driver and then trying to build your new technique around it. Doing it that way generally is not going to benefit you as much as getting that good swing in before you get the driver. But as always, get into those comments, let me know what you think, let me know your fitting experiences as well. What's the driver that you've had fitted most recently? It's great being out here, RORY'S driver, giving it a whack. It's just good fun. Yeah, just good fun to get your hands on these things and just see what those best players in the world are actually using. And certainly for driver wise, well, there's no real better player than Rory. And guys, if you are new to the channel or you are returning and you haven't yet subscribed, please hit that button, hit that little bell icon as well, like the video, and like I said, let me know what you think. Right guys, just want to say a big thank you to the guys at the Grand for letting me come down and film here in California. It's such a pretty place, such a pretty evening. I guess I'll play until it gets dark.